We continue to follow the tragic events that started on MSU's campus just a little more than 12 hours ago. 3 students are dead, and at last update, 5 other students are in critical condition after a 43-year-old with no known connection to the university opened fire in multiple places.
Police later tracked down the suspect near where he lived in Lansing, and that's where officers say he took his own life. Even though the suspect is dead, the investigation is really just beginning. I want to welcome in Andy Arena, who was special agent in charge for the Detroit FBI for a number of years. He now runs the Detroit Crime Commission. Andy, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Well, this is certainly a very tragic situation, and we know that the FBI is involved right now with the investigation. What kind of role could they play with this as it moves forward?
Well, right now they're part of the team, right? Every agency is bringing to bear all of their assets and their resources, and the Bureau bring a really good analytical capability, right? So they're going to bring in their analysts, they're going to connect the dots, right? They're going to look at all the raw intelligence. Right now they're gathering as much on this individual as they can. They're looking at what was he Googling, what was he looking at online, what was his social media footprint, right? They're talking to neighbors, they're talking to family members, just as the media is doing, right? Mm-hmm. You guys are out there doing the same thing. So they're going to connect all this, kind of paint a picture of this individual, what drove him to go to Michigan State campus last night and commit this act.
You just alluded to this. The motive is such a mystery this afternoon. What are some of the ways law enforcement will look for one, even though that suspect is dead?
Yeah. So it's kind of what you guys are doing, right? They're out there, they're talking to the neighbors, they're talking to family members, they're getting his background. In these cases, a lot of what we see is coming off of social media, right? Was this guy active on social media? What was he posting? His computer, his laptop, his iPhone, right? What was he Googling? What was he looking at? And they'll get a clear picture as to kind of what drove him to do this.
Now, Andy, from what you've seen so far, what are your thoughts on law enforcement's response to this? From what we're seeing, it seems to be all hands on deck.
Yeah, I mean, they train for this, right? They're out there, they're training, they're planning for this, but you really can't get yourself in that right mindset until it really happens. The day of the event is certainly a lot different, right? And so I think the response last night, getting in there, getting those injured kids out, getting everybody to shelter in place, setting up a perimeter, getting tactical teams in there to start clearing buildings. I think they did the best that they could. This is a large campus, and it was at night, right? So this was a difficult situation.
Yeah, absolutely. On social media, we saw it both help and exasperate the situation. We saw people posting false information. I'm sure you came across it. Rumors about the shooting, the shooter. At times I was so frustrated at home seeing posts about there being 3 shooters. At one time I saw a very specific person and their pictures and a name. Turns out not to be our confirmed suspect. But on the other hand, social media can be helpful getting information out from official sources and also helping coordinate families with their loved ones. What is your assessment on social media and the role it plays when these crises happen?
So I think 2 things last night: social media and police scanners. Those seem to they're a double-edged sword, right? Police scanners, that's raw intelligence that's going out there from law enforcement to law enforcement. And parents were listening to that, right? And it was really troubling what they were hearing. But social media, as I said, it's a double-edged sword. There's so much disinformation that went out last night. From my experience in law enforcement, the initial information you get, and this is why law enforcement kind of holds back and doesn't put a lot out, that initial information is usually wrong. And so you want to get the right information, you want to get it out to the parents, you want to get it out to the family, and to the students, right? And so that's why you see law enforcement not put a lot out initially. But yeah, social media is a double-edged sword.
Andy, every time something like this happens, there just seems to be a collective frustration across the country. We're seeing it again and again. A lot of people now comparing this shooting to the Oxford shooting. Do you see any similarities there?
I see similarities in every one of these shootings, and when these shootings occur, we go to our separate corners and come out fighting, right? We cannot have an adult conversation as a nation, as a people, as to what we need to be doing. The far left says take all the guns and throw them in the ocean. The far right says you're not taking my guns out of my hand. The reality is there's so many different issues that we need to have an adult conversation. We can't do it. It's going to be up to our kids, all right? My kids are eligible to vote. They're going to have the conversation because my generation just can't have it.
We really appreciate it. Again, Andy Arena with us this afternoon, former special agent in charge of the FBI office in Detroit and now executive director of the Detroit Crime Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.